Here are 13 things that I wish I knew before becoming a real estate agent. Let's talk about it. Hey real estate besties, it's your homegirl Rosemary Lewis with eXp Realty, and today I am going to go through with you a list of things that I really wish I knew before I became a real estate agent. Now, before we get into it, y'all, do me a favor and already go ahead and give a thumbs up, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and please share it with your friends. Now, if you're already in the business, leave a comment. Is there anything on my list that would be on your list? And if you're considering becoming a real estate agent, as I go with you, as I share with you these 13 things, tell me in comments, like, what is it that you didn't even consider? Because let me tell you, I did not consider it when I became an agent. So a little background before I get into the list. I have been a real estate agent since 2017. Previous to this, my career was an elementary school teacher, and I heard things over and over, especially when I announced that I was going to go into real estate. Things like, oh, you have such a great personality, and teachers make the best realtors, and just all of these different things from people that I really appreciate because they definitely gave me confidence to get into the business. But let me be the first to tell you that there are a lot of things that I did not consider. So let's go through the list of the things that I want you to think about before you get into the business, because your girl definitely didn't think about this. Number one, you are in sales, okay? You are now a salesperson. I don't know why I did not consider this fact, because I'm extroverted and everyone talks about how you have such a great personality, so you're going to be perfect for real estate. And while I do believe that there is some truth to that, and I've seen introverts and extroverts shine at it. I know that me being an extrovert helps in my business for me, but that's not all you need, y'all, because you are a salesperson. And when you are a salesperson, pretty much you have to be able to identify who your ideal client is and get in front of them to let them know how you can help solve their problem. So that's something that I didn't consider. I didn't consider the world of sales. I never thought of myself of being that way. And it legitimately was a shocker when I figured out that, yep, you're almost like the guy over at the Kia dealership. So you have to act accordingly. So just know that this business is a sales business and we are selling to solve a problem. The next thing that I didn't consider, number two, were that scripts matter. Now, I have some YouTube videos. I will link them here, all about like different scripts that you can use. And I know that some people don't like using scripts because it feels robotic and it just doesn't feel natural. And while I agree with that, I agree that if you don't really understand the purpose of scripting and you haven't mastered the art of making scripts conversational, then it can feel awkward. But I don't want that awkwardness. Like, I remember in the beginning, I was like, I'm not going to use scripts because these are weird. And at the end of the day, the scripts matter because they are designed to help you ask the right questions to qualify the people that you are working with. So if you don't have a script, if you don't know how to structure conversations, then trust me, you're either going to waste time or leave money on the table. So scripts matter. Number three, you're gonna have to get out of your own way, okay? In most cases, a lot of times I hear people that have gone out and they've gotten their real estate license, but the biggest obstacle they have to overcome in their business is themselves. And I was the exact same way. I had to figure out that, you know what, Rosemary? No, you have not been a business owner for very long. You were used to doing things a different way, and you are going to have to step aside so that you can go out and do this business. And I hear that all the time. I got to get out of my own way. And that means something different for some of us. For some of you, that may mean, you know what, I have to stop wasting my time. For some of you, that may mean I have to stop procrastinating and getting on video. For some of you, that may mean I need to get more social and with my sphere of influence, or more social on social media. But whatever that looks like, I wish I would have told myself, okay, Rosemary, you're going to have to get out of your way in order to be successful in this business or anything else. The next thing that I probably would have told myself is that don't just focus on choosing a brokerage because of the commission structure. I know that in the beginning, I would only for real look at brokerages that had like 100% or like a transaction-based brokerage, meaning that in my mind, I'm going to keep most of the commission. And that was the only basis of my decision for deciding where I wanted to be. So I'm just going to leave you with this advice, y'all. 100% of nothing is nothing. Okay. So if you are at a brokerage that is paying 100%, meaning that they are not there is no investment of commission, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it's definitely not necessarily a good thing. So you have to figure out, what do you need for your business, especially starting out, and who has the training, the support, the mentorship to help you get there. And if that looks like you investing parts of commissions earned, trust me, it will be an investment into your business, because the level of support that you will get will be so much different, and you will actually make more money probably in the long run. So I would tell myself not to just focus on 100% based commission brokerages. Now, speaking of commission, the next thing that I would tell myself is like, sis, teams are not a bad idea. I came into this business with a little bit of ego, right? Didn't know nothing about nothing, but I didn't want to rep somebody else's brand, and I didn't want to join a team. And as a result, I was flailing, okay? Now, I don't think that teams are for everyone, and I do have a video about the pros and cons versus teams. I will link that here. But what I will tell you is that for a lot of new agents, teams are such a powerful tool to have in your toolkit, and being on a team can help fast track you to success. So I would tell myself from the very beginning to consider finding a team that would be a good fit for me. And I'm telling you, when I did find a team, it's been a game changer. And now as a team leader, I know that what I'm able to provide my agents is a game changer in their business too. Okay, number 6. While we're on the subject, y'all, I would have told myself, look, Rosemary, this is a business and businesses require investment. One of the biggest obstacles that I think that we face when you're transitioning into real estate full-time is understanding that you're going from an employee to an entrepreneur, and to actually have the courage and the confidence to invest in that business. Now, those investments can look a multitude of ways. And I don't want you to waste your money, but I do want you to know that it may require an investment. So that may look like coaching, that may look like branding, that may look like different classes and courses that are going to help you understand. That may look like investing in mentorship. No one here, and I'm not going to say no one, but I think one of the biggest myths I hear people say all the time, well, no one wants to help me. But here's the reality, y'all, is that time is dollars, okay? And I guarantee you that if you go in your brokerage and you say, hey, will anyone help me write this listing or come up with this listing appointment, you may have someone who may go. But if someone has a financial buy-in into the end result, then that investment that you have made into them, now they're going to be willing to invest in your time. So just think about this like a business. If you were opening a t-shirt shop, would you expect to open up that shop without any inventory, without any t-shirts? No, you wouldn't. And the same way here, we have to be willing to invest in what our business needs in order for it to grow. Okay, here's the next one. Your broker is not your boss. I know that this is a confusing statement for most people, especially because we are coming from an industry or different industries where you're used to having a boss. And yes, you do have a managing broker, and there are certain responsibilities that the managing broker has for the agents. But here is the reality. The broker is not responsible to make sure that you get leads, that you convert them, that your light bill is paid, that your gas bill is paid. They are not responsible to pay you health insurance and to make sure that you are working the business so that you are receiving consistent income. That is your responsibility, okay? I've seen people hop brokerages, hop, only to come back to stage one to say, oh, I was looking for a boss and not a broker. So be clear and make sure you understand what the broker's responsibilities are for you. And none of their responsibilities include making sure that you have consistent commission. Now, do they need to have structures? And do you want to choose a place that has things in place to help support you as you grow as an agent? Absolutely. But the success or the lack of success in your business is not your broker's problem. It's all on you. Number 8, this is what I would tell myself. Rosemary, you're going to have to up your consistency game. This is a long game. Real estate is a long game. On average, y'all, it can take up to 6 months to get your first commission check. And even after you get that first commission check, what happens is a lot of times agents, we start working the deal instead of working our lead generation activities for new consistent business. So I would just remind myself that I have to stay consistent, right? I can't stop making phone calls and stop doing open houses and stop reaching out to my sphere of influence and solving problems just because I get a deal under contract. Because once that deal that's under contract closes, you're fired and you're starting back at square one. So you have to remain consistent in this business, honestly consistent in anything in life, in order to get some real results. The next thing that I would have told myself is like, sis, go back to drama club in high school. It is time to role play. One of the worst times, and this is why people, going back to one of my earlier points, one of the reasons that people hate scripts is because you fumble on the scripts because we haven't practiced them until we are talking to a real life person who is looking to buy or sell. So get on the phone and role play. Now you want to role play. How do you handle objections from a buyer? How do you handle objections from a seller? How do you strike up a conversation? If you're in line at the grocery store, how do you work into the conversation with the cashier that you are a real estate agent? And the best way to do that is to have a buddy that you are practicing with. Now, I suggest having a real estate bestie. You already know this. I'm all about that. Having a real estate bestie, and you all consistently have a time once or twice a week where you're going to call each other and you're just going to practice having these conversations. But listen, you can have them with friends, you can have them with family. And if all else fails, y'all, go in the mirror and have it with yourself. I remember starting out, I used to record myself and almost have a two-way conversation, practicing how I would engage with potential buyers and potential sellers so that when they asked me a question in the moment, I wasn't stumped by that question, but I actually had feedback and a way to answer it. So make sure that you are applying role-playing conversations in your schedules. And that's definitely something that I wish I would have started a long time ago. All right, we're rounding out to number 10. Number 10, I would have told you, Rosemary, expect the no. Listen, and when you're in sales, when you're in business, when you are offering a service or a product, we have to expect that everyone is not going to be a great fit for what we are offering at the time that we are offering it. So instead of being discouraged and overwhelmed when someone said that they already had a realtor or they're not in the market or they're going to think about it, or if they just flat out said no, I needed to come to the table expecting that no was actually a possibility. And then it wouldn't have been such a heartbreaking, crushing thing when it actually happened. So when you're getting into the business, just expect to know that you're probably going to hear no more often than you hear yes, especially in the beginning, but don't let that discourage you. You just have to keep going. Number 11, you have to get in control of your time. Most people get into real estate because they're just like, oh, I want all of this flexibility. And while the flexibility of schedule is sexy, it can also be deadly to your business. There definitely needs to be structure in how you handle your time. And this is something that I had to learn the hard way. So make sure that you have an ideal daily calendar and you stick to it as best you can. Now, if you want some insight on how to create an ideal day, head on over to rosemarylewis.com/ideal day. I have a free PDF for you and actually an example of what my ideal day looks like, but you want to make sure that you are in control of your time, because if not, that time will get away from you and it will control you. Number 12, listen, go ahead from the very beginning and brand yourself. Now, I actually was cautious to put this one out there because I see some agents that are so much more concerned about branding that they forget how to be a good agent and to like actually learn the business and learn how to show up. So I'm not saying that like you, I'm going to say that goes without saying. Make sure that you understand contracts, you understand customer service and things like that. But get out here and brand yourself, because the reality is that you might bounce to a couple of brokerages in your first year. You want the people to know you. I guarantee you, if I poll 100 of my clients right now, maybe 10 of them will know the name of my brokerage. Like they might get it confused. EX, who, EX, whatever. And I'm a part of a great brokerage, but I brand me. I am their homegirl for life. And they know that no matter where I hang my banner, I am going to be the one that is going to support them for all of their real estate needs. So make sure that you are in the business of branding yourself from the very beginning. All right, we're finally at number 13. And this one is easy. Listen, I would have said to myself, you know what, girl? You got the sauce. Literally, I don't want to be cocky or conceited here, but I spend way too much time comparing myself to every realtor in my market, every realtor on Instagram, and just psyching myself out to say, okay, do you really have what it takes? And at the end of the day, I believe, okay, if you have gone through the trouble, or I hope if you've gone through the trouble to go to real estate school, to embark on this amazing career, that you did it because there was a deep passion inside of you to help people. And knowing that, I don't want you to be overwhelmed or discouraged with anything. I want you to know that you have the sauce and you have everything right now that it takes to be successful. And that is definitely something I would have whispered in my own ear when I started out, and especially all those times that I really wanted to quit. Now, if you have made it to the end of this video and you are not subscribed to my channel, what are you doing with your life? Like seriously, go ahead and subscribe. And speaking of subscribing, y'all go ahead and subscribe to the Real Estate Bestie podcast. Your girl has a whole podcast just for you. So on everywhere where you can stream podcasts, Real Estate Bestie is there every single week. And we are talking about that real nitty-gritty stuff that you could only share with your best friend as it relates to our real estate business. So make sure that you check me out there, and I will see you back here next week.